On today's show, double threat, actor, dancer, Bethany Watson.
And this is Building Friendships.
Sure is. All right, so let's get to the reveal.
Okay. What am I building today?
I couldn't remember which of my friends liked this, but it reminds me of you. Because I remember you telling me you liked it, I just couldn't remember. But we're building a set from, I think, 2 years ago, but the film is from, I figure we're in production together, TV film. The film is from the 90s. So let's open up that set and see what we're building.
Yes! Welcome to Jurassic Park.
That's the back of it. Yeah.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
So yeah, we're going to be building the Jurassic Park. This is 3 different scenes in one set. It's the Velociraptor chase, so it's basically all the locations that they chase the little kids in. Which could have been an amazing movie if we saw children getting killed by raptors, but
this
weren't PG.
is epic. So there is this small child, Timmy, is inside of a cabinet at this point, and you can tell things are intense because here someone's waving their hands. You can tell because of the flurry motion, and I'm very excited.
It's a raptor. I would wave my hands, and I will be building this giant thing.
What is that?
This is the Disney Castle. I actually wasn't going to get it because, Lego decided to force a motor on you. It used to be like you create what you want, like the Marvel Helicarrier, and if you want, you could put a motor in it and control it.
Ooh.
Disney's not fucking around. They got some Marvel money.
Yeah.
You can now control this train through your cell phone. Yes! They put a fancy motor in this thing. So it was like $350. It just went on sale for like $220 for Black Friday, so I picked it up.
Can you get that railroad and that train car to like bring you your beer? Could you like control it? Could you put a whole track down like from your living room all the way into the kitchen and have it like have like a Chippendale squirrel
Bethany has
bring you
no
your beer?
regard for a person's steps. I need to make $10,000 a day, and she's trying to make me lazier.
I'm trying to make your life easier, brah. This is so much worse. Okay.
What the fuck is a box in a box? What is going on, Lego?
I need a Velociraptor. I need...
So let me tell you why I'm impressed already. There have been 2 situations at least where the person opened all the bags before they read the instructions, and now they're digging for small pieces across 5 bags.
Do you know what's really off-putting is that this bag contains a head and a cowboy hat. It's a little bit like coming upon a crime scene where you just see part of the body.
I don't know if a lot of people know this about Bethany, but she got into radio through the channel of bank teller, which is very common in the industry.
One might call it a circuitous route. I actually was not a bank teller. I was working as in a corporate bank office in Minneapolis, and had a full nervous breakdown. And because I, trained in theater, had a theater degree, and like was pretty good at it.
Did you get the shit that most people get when they work in it? Like, did your family set you up to fail? Like mine was very, very much like, well, come on, you're Jewish, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I'm like, that's a stereotype. That was from my family who was like, what are you going to do in TV? We don't know, like, because we have no connections in TV. They're like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Right.
But,
yeah, no,
like,
we
just let me fail.
No, my parents were very supportive, which is almost another way to let your child fail, is like to tell them they can do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean, my parents are amazing, and actually I think that they always told us we could be whatever we wanted, and they would always be proud of us.
But that's not true, though.
No, but it is. Okay, I got Timmy put together. Timmy, done. Second, I have to put together
Fun fact,
a gun.
did you know Timmy plays John in Bohemian Rhapsody? Plays the bassist?
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's Timmy from Jurassic Park.
The guy who plays, what's his name?
Rami Malek?
Brian May Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's just a stain on your floor. Is from the show Midsummer Murders, which is one of my very favorite cozy mysteries.
That disturbs me more than my fun
Out
fact.
of the UK, across the pond, as it were. Okay, I'm putting together a gun right now. I need a little thing. So I had a nervous breakdown working at the bank because I was like, I'm not using my skills. Then at that point, the morning show I was listening to in Minneapolis, which was called Dave Ryan and the Morning Show, they were looking for a new female co-host, and so I just submitted my acting headshot and resume because I needed to get out of banking, and I got the job.
So,
which also is very rare.
Headshot and resume.
But the only reason I got it also, by the way, is because I already had training in improv, like a ton of improv training. So, like, I was good at performing.
So they were banking on your conversational skills, as I am right now.
Yes, pretty much. How am I doing?
As opposed to, like, radio experience, knowing what, like, there was a lot that you had to learn on the job. Like,
yes,
you don't host the show. They speak, you listen, and then you chime in when you feel like you have something to legitimately contribute.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to move these, because they've been taking up space.
Where is the thing? I think I lost a head. Can you hand me the head, please? Wait.
This is our amazing PA, Emilia M.
Poor Emma's like,
She spotted it the whole time and said nothing.
She
was watching you struggle on camera.
That's professional.
A lot of people think that you can never get the job, like your dream job, because it just doesn't seem like a reality for people, like working for your favorite TV show or working for, but it's like, no, people want the brand. I know WWE loves hiring writers who actually watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And for two reasons. One, they know the characters that they're going to be writing about, but two, they know not to pitch anything that's a waste of time. Like if they want to pitch something that's a little bit too edgy, they're going to know not to pitch it, knowing that this isn't the brand.
Right.
So as opposed to someone who comes in and is like, I know how we could change things up. We can have this girl wrestle naked. Yeah. Oh, you know how many chocolate pudding matches they used to have in the early 2000s with the women? Everybody wrestled in chocolate pudding. Yeah, but if anyone suggested that now, they'd probably be fired because that's just not the brand anymore.
It's not the brand.
So
yeah, and it was really cool. Like everyone at the bank that I worked at listened to that morning show, and so the coolest moment was the day that my boss, who hated me, sent the email that said, Bethany's going to work for Dave Ryan in the Morning Show. And I saw, I was in a cubicle farm, so I saw little heads, poke up around the office of people going, wait, really? Wait, really, you're going to that show? And it was really fun. Did you ever see That Thing You Do starring Tom Hanks?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
I never saw it either.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up then.
Thank you.
Okay. So we met... When did we meet? We met 6 years ago now.
2013 maybe. I should go back and try find.
It was right after. Yeah, it was right after my last surgery. So probably the end of 2014.
Was that the surgery where you got your face switched from Nicolas Cage to you?
Yes, that was the basis of the movie Face Off.
You got your face taken off.
Based on my real life. So we met on Twitter. We met in this sketchy sushi place that's now a strip club, and we decided we're going to write something.
Yes.
And we did.
And we never released it.
And we shot a lot of days because we kept doing, we kept trying to squeeze in more sad things for your character to be doing.
So I played this character. I don't remember her name. Did she ever have a name? Did we get that name?
Charlie.
Charlie. And she lost her best friend. Her best friends. Yeah. It starts out with my character being dumped by her 3 best friends who are all blonde. And then going out into the city and trying to make new friends. So then we did a whole montage of my character trying to make friends, and we shot her sadly going around the carousel when Toys R Us was still open in Times Square.
Talking to the dinosaur.
There's nothing.
Oh, we went to a cat petting place.
Yeah, we went to a cat cafe called Cat Cafe. The hardware store, we were originally going to do a cat hardware store, and the hardware store down the street from me offered to let us bring cats in and shoot overnight at their hardware store.
This was our first project, no budget.
No budget.
You had 1 cat.
We were but they were so nice, and I'm still friends with them. And they're like, yeah, you can fill our store with cats. We don't care.
So like I feel bad because they keep following me on Instagram because they want me to follow back, and I don't want to follow a hardware store.
They're great guys.
I follow them from the labeled account. I just don't want to follow a hardware store. I see enough nonsense. I don't need to say, oh look, we got hammers on sale. Great.
They do. I bought a hatchet there, and
I bought my tools from IKEA, and you have to put them together. It's terrible.
That's ironic.
So we shot this thing. And I think it's one of those things, if we revisited it, we would be confident that we can put it out. But I also don't think that we would want to continue it. I think that was something that was good at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was our first thing and we were excited about it.
We also got to the point where you especially kept like having to re-edit the same footage over and over, and finally we just like looked at each other and said we both hate this. It's not even that, like, we didn't even like it anymore because we had seen it so many times.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was just it's the same thing that happens to me with Labeled, where you see it so many times you're over it.
Yeah, I get that.
So we didn't release it, but that was our first project, and I'm glad we didn't release it because we needed a basic learning experience.
Yes.
Which is something that you only really get when you actually produce stuff. So we've been working on Labeled. I think we shot some stuff, and then we decided our obsession of Hallmark movies.
Yes.
Was going to Hallmark Christmas movies, to be specific, was going to
was going to be our ticket.
Yeah, so we actually shot a fake trailer for a Hallmark movie, which
we then also never released because it's
pretty bad.
Pretty bad. But I'm actually really proud of it. I've wanted to release it, and you keep saying no. And
I didn't say it at the time because you still worked there, and I think it was someone at work. But that voiceover was fucking terrible.
It was really bad. We need to redo the voiceover.
Yeah, no, it was really bad. That was one of the reasons I was like, it sounds like we're making it intentionally terrible, which the story was, but
yeah, we needed someone who could do like the classic, like Hallmark Christmas movie, but like the person. I got two different people.
He likes trees.
Yeah,
she likes trees.
They're gonna trees.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing you do starring Tom Hanks?
Oh, can we talk about this movie? You've seen it, right?
No.
Oh, me neither.
Let's talk about A Very Merry Mix-Up.
Oh, so you want to get into Hallmark movies. Okay.
Too Many Mitchums.
Two Mitchums, Too Furious.
Do you want to start telling? This is a classic Hallmark Christmas film starring Alicia Witt, the redhead from
you have to go. You have to go into. She's from Urban Legend too.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's the main character.
Her teeth look weird to me, but I think she's very beautiful.
You need to go into this movie with the preconceived notion that Mitchum is a common last name.
Yeah. Because this film, the whole thing, is contingent on the fact that it totally makes sense for there to be two dudes in the same small town with the name
with the last name Mitchum? Billy.
Billy Mitchum.
But one of them only goes by William, which is how we find out something is not right. But there are two Mitchum families in the same small Christmas town that don't know they exist.
Right.
If you can go in and believe that,
you're set.
You're set. You're gonna really enjoy this movie because it's a bundle of laughs.
So here's what happens, and I haven't seen it in a couple of years because you have to pay for it. It's not on Netflix.
Oh, I watch it at 3. No, I go through my FiOS and I set the reminders for 3 a.m.
So here's the deal with Very Merry Mix-Up, aka Too Many Mitchums. Is there's a redhead, and she is engaged to a dude named Billy Mitchum.
William
Mitchum, and she's never met his family before. And for
no, he's Billy Mitchum, and the family he goes to
William.
Is William.
Okay,
yeah.
So she's never met Billy's family before. She, for some reason, is going to go to his family's home for Christmas before he gets there. So she lands.
He's got to close the deal.
He's very busy.
But she doesn't know that the deal he's closing includes selling her father's antique shop.
Ooh,
very
forgot about
complex
that part.
Storyline.
Okay, so then she flies home. She lands. The brother picks her up at the airport.
So she lands, and she grabs a car and gets into a car. First, no, she's in the airport, spills coffee on a guy.
Ugh.
Gets into a car. Gets into a car accident with someone. Turns out, it's Billy Mitchum's brother.
Who knew?
Who knew Billy Mitchum's brother?
And he's like, I didn't know my brother had a girlfriend. She's like, it's me. Here, I is. And so they go to his house, and this is a very warm, wonderful, lovely family. And they're like, Billy had a girlfriend? And she's like, I is.
And they're also like, hey, I didn't know that they call him Billy now. We call him William.
Will.
Yeah.
Will Mitchum.
So there was a lot of confusion from the get-go.
And that should have been a red flag.
Yeah, that should have been the first red flag, especially since I think she gave all the information. So for all she knew, he could have just been like, oh yeah, Billy Mitchum's my brother. Come to my shady basement. I'm going to kill you under a Christmas tree.
Right.
Like, she had no clue what she was getting into.
Right.
But she had the common understanding that there was probably only one Mitchum family in the area.
And like,
so this has to be it.
Right.
If there's going to be Mitchums, this is it.
Right. And so so Brother Mitchum takes her home to his family, and they're great, and they have all of these memories, and they make all these wonderful, like, cozy Christmas moments. And then what? And then she calls him, and he's like,
well, okay, so
I haven't seen this in a very long time. I don't remember.
I watch it whenever it's on.
What's this?
So what happens is, from that car accident, they both had concussions. Couldn't go to sleep for 24 hours. So now she's in a stranger's home that she thinks are her future in-laws. He brought a stranger home with a similar head trauma that he has.
I forgot.
And they stay up all night bonding and having the time of their lives with concussions.
Do they go to Bone Town, USA? Population Mitchum?
No, but there is that second where, like, she looks in his eyes and she's like, oh.
I picked the wrong brother.
I'm visually cheating.
Emotionally cheating?
Visually. I don't think she was emotionally attached yet, but she fell in love with Billy's family. She was very happy to be a part of this family.
Don't you let yourself make this same mistake.
You watch out. It's the holiday season. That's when this shit happens.
Everyone be falling in love willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I forgot that they got concussions. I feel like this was
that was the best part, because they were
way.
I've never seen someone with a concussion have the time of their life like these two were.
I mean, look,
Those are just the dead children in my apartment.
You get rid of it. There's nothing you can do, right? Like, you're sick, so you have to stay awake, and you're both going through this together. And they've done experiments.
Yeah,
where,
but they were baking. There are things that you shouldn't be doing with the concussion, because you could kill your entire family.
Sure, but
like cooking.
But like, you're a shared traumatic experience, like we learned in Speed, can like bring people together. And so they were brought together. They were having a really good time. They were baking. They were making memories. Her family, if this is a Hallmark movie, her family's probably dead, or she's an orphan or something.
She is an orphan.
So there you go. So there's like she's gaining this family experience that she's always craved with a hottie, and what are you supposed to do? Your brain's been a little rattled. So then she ends up going to like her boyfriend's family, and they are awful.
They're terrible.
They're so mean. Their house is like a museum where people come to see them.
They play a terrible game where, like, you write on a card what you like about everybody in the room, and they have to read it and guess who said what about them. And there was nothing great about what was on those cards.
What did they write? Remind me. Was it like that time we played the game at your birthday? Let's say something we love about John and something that we wouldn't mind if he changed.
Not a fun game. To be fair, it could have been much worse. It was all about my eating habits. I think there were 13 people at the table, and I think like 9 to 11 of them said they wish I would eat healthier. I appreciated that.
At the time, you were not eating very healthy. We were worried about your health. You're doing much better.
Oh, great. I'm glad everyone's in approval now. We haven't played that game since.
I know. What were some of the things that they said about Alicia Witt that they?
I don't remember. That's
like
how
about
forgettable this scene is. It didn't need to be in there. This movie could have. Every movie's to the minute, 2 hours. So they had to fill time, and they did it. They filled time. If you watch the other episodes, this is very similar to how it goes.
Okay, look. No, look. Okay. Look. Okay, hinge, short space, bricks, right?
Yeah.
Same spot. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Wait. My sister has 2 daughters. Some might call them my nieces. And
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable.
And she was like, I don't want them to see screens really until they're older, and was able to do that.
I learned a lot from TV.
Oh, I think TV is great. I think it inspires. I think that it, you know.
Yeah,
but I don't think it should be the only thing that a kid is looking at.
No, but I do
young.
think like it's up to the parent to sort of monitor the content.
Yeah.
But I definitely think like I would not know a lot of the things I know without TV.
What are the top 5 things you know because of TV?
To be honest, and I know this is gonna sound fucking terrible. Like, TV's why I never started smoking.
Really?
Yeah, like those
like PSAs.
or did drugs, like Rachel Lee Cook smashing an egg with a pot. I was like, this sounds terrible. And now they've just gotten more graphic, but like.
Well, now it's like meth and opioids.
Well, yeah, now it's
Which,
becoming a bigger problem. Now it's Tide Pods. Jesus Christ.
Those are delicious. Don't rip on Tide Pods. Shame on you.
But like, yeah, no, watching Saved by the Bell, like the drug episode and things like that, where they weaved it into shows, not even trying to hide the fact that this is just a giant drug commercial.
Sometimes when I'm bored or lonely, I will do my
Drugs.
own. I will do drugs.
But that's it. Those are the only times I'll do drugs, when I'm bored and lonely.
I'll do like my own. Remember, like after those very special episodes, the whole cast would be sitting behind the flat. You would see like the plywood, and they'd be on like stools. So I'll be like, "Hey kids, on today's episode, we were laughing about smoking, but in real life, smoking's not so funny. Every year, 50,000 people die from smoking. The next one could be you. So make sure that you and me and everyone on the cast of Growing Pains
Yeah, good job.
says no to smoking. We'll see you next week."
Smoking is no laughing matter.
And then we generically talk and banter.
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
Thank you.
I thought that was good. I thought that was really good. I think that you reached my audience,
Thank you.
all 3 of them.
Now you do one.
Ooh.
Yours is for...
Guys, I know sometimes you're doing your laundry and you're like, hey, that Tide Pod looks good. That Tide Pod looks colorful. It looks delicious. Don't eat that Tide Pod. It's chemicals.
The other thing I like to do is pretend that I'm a youth minister. And,
Okay, now we're getting into a weirder territory than we just left.
and do some like cool rap about God. Like, hey kids. Like, hey fellow teens. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Hey fellow teens. You know what's dope? Jesus. Jesus is your friend, lives in your heart. And even when you feel like you're not so cool and nothing's going fly for you, you always got Jesus, because he's your homie.
And he's Jewish.
That's,
Perfect.
That's the
That
other
was
game I
beautiful.
like to play.
No, that was beautiful. I think you're really hitting home all the key things that teens want to hear these days. Could we talk about religion for a second? Because so you're Lutheran, right?
I was born Lutheran.
You were born Lutheran.
I was raised Lutheran, super Lutheran.
I
would not call myself Lutheran now.
I was raised Jewish, and my entire life, and I still do. I think I always questioned religion. I was not a big fan of religion. I'm still not. But I always thought the Jewish religion was particularly weird.
Why?
Just for like basic things, like when you go to temple, they were very particular about, like the temple I went to, like when I was going to Hebrew school, you couldn't, women and men sat separately. So now there's already division of genders.
Oh, wow. See, I don't know a lot. We didn't really have a lot of Jewish people where I grew up. So I didn't really have much like experience with it until I moved to the East Coast.
Yeah, and like I don't think a lot of people have been to temple to know that type of stuff. I think they know about the general stuff with the religion, which is like it's the wife takes after the kid, watches the kids, and like the traditional stuff. And
like the Jewish lineage goes through the mother.
Yeah, which again makes no sense. Like I don't believe in converting and things like that because it's dumb. You're raised into a religion. You're not born a religion. You don't come out and you're like, oh, this person's Jewish. You
Look
come
at
out
them.
as a
They're
baby.
clearly born. That one's a Lutheran.
Yeah.
Look at how big that forehead is.
Look at that nose. He's Jewish. Like, it's that kind of thing. And so one of the reasons I thought the Jewish religion was so weird is because in temple, like, we don't speak English. Like, there's English, but in the services, they speak Hebrew.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, so anybody that's not Jewish that came to my bar mitzvah was like, what's this weird culty chanting, right?
Okay.
So that's how I always
Fair.
felt about the religion. For me, it was always like, this is very weird. I can understand how it's weird to outside people. We're talking in a religion where I'm Jewish and I still don't know what's being said.
Yeah.
Then I went to, recently I went to a Catholic funeral.
Okay. Long.
No, the service wasn't long, but I left saying that was weird. Like,
Yeah.
I thought, and I think it's a testament to like all religions. I'm not saying just the Catholic religion, but like the aspect of, like when someone dies, the guy, I don't even know what he did, but he had a lantern that started smoking.
Yeah, like the incense.
And he starts walking around. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this like, and a Jewish funeral, we don't have any of that.
You don't
Jewish
get
funeral,
that?
they sit in a box. They're in the box, and we
Like
just
a coffin?
yeah, a few people come up, say a few nice speeches. A rabbi says a nice like prayer, says something about the person. In some cases, they've known the person. In other cases, they've met them prior to them dying and like got to know them very briefly.
Like in
But they
preparation
say something
for them.
nice. They say a few prayers. It's very limited in the prayers, and then we're done with it. Then it's off to the cemetery. So it sort of this Catholic funeral sort of made me. Like I appreciated the fact that this wasn't. I no longer believed it was just my religion that had its weird things. It was like,
no, they all do.
yeah, but I didn't have like exposure to other things. So even at 33, I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird.
Yeah, no, it is really interesting. And if you start doing,
And they had live musical performance. There was
yeah,
a guy there with
sometimes
the
they have, like, a
violin.
band,
Girl
yeah.
had one of the best voices I've ever heard.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're like, I don't want to talk about like the stuff we sign in the label, but like compared to this, I was like this, yeah, she had an amazing voice.
yeah, no, it's really interesting. And I think that once you start sort of looking into, I don't know, people are going to get mad. Not saying religions are necessarily cults, but once you start looking into cults, you see a lot of crossover, and you realize that at the end of the day, it's anytime you have a group of people who are all like chanting together, it can, to an outsider, come across as very, very foreign and strange.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, if you aren't born into a specific religion, yeah, it feels very different. But you know, being born into Lutheranism, I never really questioned much and never really thought anything was strange until, you know, I got a little older and got like surly. I had a lot of questions. Boom, done with book 1. Control Center. Thank you.
No, I'm saying, wow, you have a lot of
I
extra
know.
pieces. Like,
Wait,
these
are all-
these are occasionally extras. The squares are extras. You should not be missing part of the floors.
Who is this? Because I don't remember this person. That's the girl. That's
That's
awful.
the girl.
Okay, do you remember the girl Lexie?
Yeah, that's her.
I just reached out to her on the internet.
Lexie who?
The girl who played Lexie in
Oh,
Jurassic
yeah.
Park. I just reached out to her online because now she does portraits. Now she's a painter, and I want to have her paint a portrait of Dennis and me and our 2 cats on top of a mountain, with Dennis playing a lute with his arm wrapped around my thigh, and me with like a skull, and then our 2 cats. So I reached out to her because she takes commissions, and there's like a form, and I said, you know, what would the price be of like a 39 by like 28 portrait, 2 people, 2 animals, fantasy, heavily leans
I hope
towards
she responded
fantasy.
with, the only cost is your dignity.
I haven't. I never heard back.
Good. I hope she doesn't answer.
I hope she does.
No,
How
that's
great would
not-
it be to have a portrait painted by the chick from Jurassic Park?
Like, I know my thing is Lego, but I just feel like we are not good with expendable income.
No, we're not. Did you see the portrait I got done of my cats?
Yes, and I was
got it
like, you
framed?
know how many people I could have fed with my last Lego set?
It's so good.
It's really bad what we're doing.
I mean, look, this is what happens. Have you heard the term DERP? DINK, sorry. DINK, not DERP. DINK. Dual income, no kids.
Yeah.
So it's when, like, it's like two people who don't have children. When that happens, you start, like,
I have
commissioning portraits.
I have dinking. Dual income, no kids, no girlfriend. Do you remember when you first saw Jurassic Park?
Yes. I remember I was doing a sleepover with my sister on the back deck. My dad came home from seeing it and said, that's not a movie for you girls. It's a little too mature. I don't remember when I actually saw it after that, but I loved it. I love the OG Jurassic Park holds up so well. The only thing that doesn't really hold up is Laura Dern's mom jeans, but like everything else, even the CGI, I think looks pretty freaking fantastic. And this is a fight that, John, you and I have gotten into several times, which is if they reopened Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
and they had learned all of the lessons from all of the other mishaps.
Which they did. I mean, they did.
Which
okay.
they did. Like, they fixed all of the fences. It's not on, like, a rotating electrical cycle anymore. Like, they're not going to crossbreed and make super dangerous, dinosaur rat. Like, they've learned from everything. And they're doing a new one, and they invite you for a soft launch.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because it's fucking dinosaurs.
But they've learned
We
everything.
just talked about forgetting, and you were in full support of not forgetting.
But they are the ones who didn't forget. They learned. They learned from the mistakes of the past. They have reinforced everything. They have, they're not going to do all the crap they did before that, like, they've learned. They've learned. They're doing a new one.
They
This is
didn't
your
learn.
once-in-a-lifetime
If they're still making dinosaurs,
to see dinosaurs.
if they're still making dinosaurs, they did not learn shit.
They did. They learned. They took all of the notes from all of the other films. They're not making like a super scary dinosaur crossbreed anymore. They're not going to,
You don't need to. You're making a fucking tyrannosaur. You're making a raptor, which I guarantee you is smarter than I am.
Okay, but that's why they figured out like all of the right kind of fences that they need to make them high enough. They're gonna have so many backup sources of power in case there's a storm. They're gonna check the weather. They're not gonna do a soft launch. I know you have to go. This is your one opportunity.
We've spoken about this. My biggest fear is sharks with legs, which is basically what a dinosaur is.
It's not. Okay, a shark with legs. Okay. Are you talking about a shark top with man legs? Like
No.
powerful He-Man legs that are like running?
And people often think that that's what I'm talking about.
Because that's what I think you're talking about.
No, what I am talking about is wait, did I screw something up? No.
I think I
What
screwed
I am talking about is a dinosaur a shark that has evolved in a way that they now have muscles in whatever. Either they grow a pair of legs similar to humans, but most likely their tail fin, they have muscles that they can walk on. Where like, yeah, it's a little pointy, but they walk.
So their legs, so if this is the shark,
waddle.
let's say this is down to scale. This is the shark, these are the legs.
Yeah.
So in review, you're scared of a shark
The
that's
way-
going to
okay.
go
Okay,
after you.
the way that like someone
is
who's
what you're saying.
let's say a righty loses their hand and they learn how to write with their left hand.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
What
where
you're
like
saying-
you evolve to the point where like you deal with your situation. They learn how to breathe on land. They become sharks that can walk on land.
Uh-huh.
Like sharks that can live on land, but now they're like
Okay.
they have enough that they want like they're on land, but where can they go because they can't walk? They teach themselves to walk.
But this is also what you're saying. You're saying that like if someone is a right-handed person, they lose their right hand, now they're a lefty. You're saying that you're afraid of losing a penmanship contest to that person. You are still
I'm not
still
scared
in
of
a
that
superior
person.
position.
No, I'm
if
not
a
saying-
shark gains legs, there's no way that he's going to outrun you. You've had legs for like 30 some years. He just got them.
But they're sneaky.
No, sharks are
Yeah.
not sneaky. They're sharks.
sneaky.
They run
No.
around and eat what's in front of them. As long as you're not in front of them, you're
Are
fine.
you telling me that there is nobody in this world with one leg that can beat you in a race? I would get beat without even trying.
Do they have a second leg?
Yeah.
Then yes, they could beat me in a race.
How? You have two. You've had them for your whole life.
Right, but they've had one for their whole life, and now the
No,
other one,
okay,
they
let's
just
say
lost
someone
one,
that
and they
they
got a
just
new
lost.
one. They're fine.
No, let's say that they lost they had two legs, they just lost one leg.
Yes. Yes, I could beat them in a race.
You don't think there's anybody in the world that has been in that situation where you've lived 30-something years with both your legs.
Yes.
They've only lived 10 years with one leg. You don't think they can beat you in a race?
If they only have one leg and they're hopping?
Yeah. You don't think there's anybody that's learned how to hop really faster than you can run?
No, I don't.
That's the problem. You don't give people enough credit. You don't give sharks enough credit.
I don't think... How long... Okay. Follow-up question. How long has this shark had legs?
They don't have legs. You say they have legs, it makes it sound stupid.
How long has this shark... How long has this shark been able to waddle on its back fins?
I don't know.
I mean,
we're talking hypotheticals. Let's say 10 years.
10 years. Okay, so it's had 10 years.
He's been struggling for 5 years, and in the 5th year, he's picked up.
Okay, so, has he been training?
Here's the other thing.
Has he been training?
Yes, he's at the gym every day. What do you mean has he been training?
Has he been practicing with his legs?
He's got a trainer from Blink Fitness.
Shout out. It's different if he has been actively working on getting better at running, or if he just suddenly has legs but he's not really using them. That's a different thing.
If you find out one day there's a shark with legs, a shark that can walk on land, are you going to the beach ever again?
Yeah, I want to see that. And this is the difference between you and me.
This is the difference between you and me.
It's because I'm going to have life experiences. I'm going to go to Jurassic Park and see dinosaurs. I'm going to go to the beach and see a shark that can walk. I'm going to have all of these experiences, and you're going to be home.
That's the thing. So, a lot of black comics joke about this, and I agree 1,000%. There's black excitement and white excitement. And, for you, that's adventurous, going to a dinosaur park. I'm with
you as a black man.
Me as a black man. No, there are black comics who talk about just simple, common things like jumping out of a plane. I don't want to fucking do that.
It's awful.
Why do you need to jump out of a plane?
I've done it. Never again.
Why would you want to do that? Why would that's adventurous. No, it's not adventurous. You're jumping out of a fucking plane.
Okay, but let's say you make it.
No, but my thing is, if I find out there are sharks on the beach that could come onto the beach and walk the boardwalk with me, I'm not going to the fucking boardwalk. Do I think they can make it out to my car? Probably not. But if I could find out they go 20 feet to the boardwalk in Coney Island, I'm never going to Coney Island again. You're going to go because it's exciting to see until you lose an arm. Same thing with a dinosaur park. All it takes is one person falling asleep on the job, and you now have a T-Rex eating people. Your friends are gone.
But it won't.
Raptors trapping you.
It won't, because they've learned... They've hired better people. They've hired people who aren't going to fall asleep on the job because they know what the stakes are, Jonathan.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein hung himself. Just throwing that in there. They hired people to watch it. Specifically, their only job was watch this guy, make sure he doesn't kill himself.
They definitely didn't want him to be watched.
But I'm just saying, there are always people inside. Okay, so look at Jurassic Park. Newman, they thought they hired someone.
But that was the first one, Jonathan. That was the first one. They hadn't learned anything. They spared no expense, but they didn't stop to think about whether or not they could. They just thought if they should.
Now you're just quoting the movie to make your point, but I don't agree with it. My point is not that they didn't learn from it. I'm a firm believer that money brings happiness, and you can buy anything in the world.
I agree.
Okay, they bought Newman. What's to say that somebody who doesn't like you is like, hey, Bethany's coming to the park today. Here's $8 million. Make sure a raptor gets out as she's passing the cage. I'm not saying that someone would do that. I'm just saying anybody can be bought. That's what happened to Newman.
Okay.
You can't prepare for that. You can hire, and he got bought out by another company that wanted to have a dinosaur park. So if somebody says, hey, I'll give you the same job, except you're not watching dinosaurs, you're watching zebras at the Bronx Zoo, here's $1 million to go do that.
Okay, that point I actually see.
Yeah, go out, run a dinosaur. You've been free longer than they have. You know where all the hiding spots are. Go out, run a velociraptor.
I'll say this. I'll circle gets the square, except...
Circle gets the square.
Except...
Good reference.
I will hire... The teens love that game. I will hire security. I will have someone with me all the time, because...
Now she has security.
If I'm going to Jurassic Park, I'm hiring security. I mean, duh. I don't know why this doesn't look right.
Because you did it.
Ow.
Spared no expense.
You're such a dick. Can you get this off for me? I did it wrong. I think I did it wrong. Don't tell me that Lego has never made a mistake, because I guarantee you that they made a mistake this time. Do you want a hot dog?
I'm good.
John, help me.
Didn't you work on the Joker movie?
Yes.
Which scene was it? Now that it's out and gonna get a ton of awards.
I did background in Joker because I needed to keep my health care.
Yeah, no, which scene did you do?
I was in, did you see it?
Yeah.
I was in the comedy club scene.
Oh,
when
really? With
they're-
Gary Gomez?
Yeah, so when they're, when it's the
love
first time
Gary.
he's there and they're pushing in on him in the audience, I'm like one row in front of him on the left.
Can you be seen? Oh.
Chill Cosby did background on that movie too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I ran into him in the holding.
Which brings us to Labeled.
Labeled.
That's one of our 2 released projects.
Yes.
Yeah, we just wrapped season 2, which is live now on Atlantic Records.
Yes. Shout out to Atlantic Records.
Shout out.
We love.
Yeah, that was my whole year. That was our whole year. We first shot it last year to get a Christmas episode out.
Yep, we shot the Christmas Ween
episode
episode.
1.
Yep. How are you feeling about it after it's done now? Like, how do you feel with all this time
I haven't thought about,
on your hands?
I've been getting depressed.
Have you really?
Yeah, like
Too much free time?
yeah, too much free time. Like not in that I'm not enjoying it. Like I know I have this to edit. Like I have these episodes I have to start editing. I've only done like partial episodes, but I've been getting depressed in thinking like that I'm not accomplishing something. Like with Labeled, it was always go home, work, edit Labeled, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And now it feels like it's wasted time in an industry where I already feel like I lost so much of I lost my 20s.
I have to say, I have heard that from so many people. I think there are and not to like belittle your feelings at all, I think there are so many people who feel like because they don't have the connections that everyone else seems to have, or that you have if you grow up in an entertainment industry family, that they are not where they want to be. And I used to think that too. I no longer believe that, because I think that, yes, obviously you want to keep working and like creating as much as possible and doing as much work as you can do, but I also don't think you're doing yourself any favors by like beating yourself up or getting really upset.
It's not an upset thing. It's really like I'm just down, and it's partially my fault because I don't like leaving my apartment. So like I'll come home from work and then I'll grab a coffee, which is not helpful. Em knows, because I'm there like every night. I grab a coffee after work, then I come home, and then I just can't sleep for the next 8 hours.
And so then you sit and think.
Yeah, so in my mind I'm thinking, but then also sometimes it leads to, hey, that would be a funny scene.
Sure.
So it leads to writing. But there's a good percentage of that time that is not spent doing anything, and I'm literally sitting in bed watching a Hallmark movie, like just being bummed out.
Yeah,
You're doing a lot of things now, but I think like that's where your actress hat is being put on, where you're like, you don't have to think about the producing part of it.
I have to, yeah, like, so I just shot a web series called Peeved, and the trailer just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's on my socials, so you can see it there. And it's a cool project, and I play like a breakup or divorce mediator, but I'm hired on behalf of the animal, not on behalf of the people. So I help with pets, and it's very funny, and I love it. But I have to say, one of the nicest parts is that I just came on and acted, and then I got to go home, and it made me realize how much extra work it is to produce your own stuff, because especially if you're acting in it. And like, yeah, it was sort of nice to have someone else put on the creativity hat. And I just focused on my character, what her deal was. Like, between takes, I was just focused on, drinking water and making sure I, ate healthy and was feeling good. I didn't have to worry about letting people in or getting shots set up. It's really incredibly stressful.
And that's the only thing I want to do. Like, I have no interest in acting. I didn't even have a real interest in doing this, where like I don't think I'm supposed to be on camera. It's not.
I think you're much funnier than you.
I
think you're supposed to be a writer and producer.
Exactly.
You should be writing all the time. You should be in so many different writers' rooms because you are one of the funniest people I know. And
Stop it.
I know, and it's true. And I, I'm working on a project.
That's why I have this series, so people can just tell me how funny I am.
And one of the points of it is that, like, if it sells, you have to be brought in as part of the writing team.
Well, yeah,
because
of course.
It's like,
that's the thing. If it sells, and I think we're in a great place now where there's enough. There are so many different places it can live that I'm genuinely confident we're going to get labeled somewhere. I just don't know where, and it's the frustrating part is the waiting. But that's the industry.
yeah.
That's just the game that we're playing. But yeah, no, I was talking to someone else about this. Like, as an actor, someone else who produces also, and she was just like, I just need to go in and know my lines.
Yep.
And I constantly think about how, like, as a director, it's got to be even worse. And I try not to compare too much of what we do to the real world, just because we do things
Wait,
very,
the real
very
world, the real world, or the show, the real
the
world?
show, the real world.
Okay.
Because
That show is amazing.
no, the real way productions work, because I just don't want to put myself in the mindset of like this is always this bad. And not that it was bad, but it was a lot of work. I got stressed up until we wrapped shooting, and you saw that. Like on the shoot days, I was stressed. Before the shoot days, when I'm running around, I'm stressed.
Yeah, you don't eat.
No, I mean.
You don't eat anyway, but like you don't eat on shoot days.
Look at me, super skinny.
You don't eat.
No, because I already start the day with stomach pains. I don't need to make them worse. And I have a bad diet. So what was I going to eat? Something from Dunkin' Donuts that just tore my insides apart. So yeah, I get super stressed, and then I'm behind the camera. So anything I shoot, any fuck up there is, that's on me.
Yeah.
I'm editing, so anything that I miss, and this is why you and I go back and forth so often, because I'm paranoid that I'm missing something and that.
Yeah, the process of editing is intense, because John will go through, he will edit everything, and then he'll send it to me, and because we live so far apart, I will, instead of coming over here, I will make like down to the second notes, send them back to him. I'll be like, cut out the half second between 4:51 and 4:52 after she says the line, cut. And it's just pages of notes and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
And like sometimes it'll be like, we'll do most of them in one shot. In one edit, I could get most of them done, but this is after I'm home from work. So it's like, now it's 11 o'clock. Bethany's sleeping because she has the morning show. She has the show early, so she's sleeping already. I have one question that's holding up the rest of the editing, or I want to tell her, hey, we can't do this. Do you think it's worth trying this? And now I have to wait now I have to send that email, wait in the morning, come home, edit then.
Yeah.
So it's very stressful when I do have this much responsibility as the person who shot it, because I don't trust myself at that point. I need that second pair of eyes, because on the shoot day, we'll sometimes watch something after we shoot it, but for the most part, we don't see how it's really going to look on the screen until I'm editing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of back and forth where I'm freaking out because I don't trust myself, and I trust her to make better judgments in that stuff.
And you're freaking out also because you don't sleep and I sleep too much. So
Do
between
you? You're
sleeping
up
is my
every
favorite.
I wake up when I text Bethany at like 11 a.m. I wake up to her responses at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, but I go to
regardless
bed
of the
at
fact
like
that you're not even on the radio show right now.
I go to bed at like 8 p.m. I go to bed so early. Like you texted me last night about something at 11:30 last night, and I didn't get it until this morning.
Yeah.
Because I was asleep. Because sleep is my favorite. This is the thing I love about Lego, though, is check this out. The details of this. This chair actively swivels. This is a functioning swivel chair.
Oh, Lego doesn't mess around.
And I'm putting that functioning swivel chair in front of this little computer. Okay, so InGen is like John Sosis. We like the cut of your jib. We want you to come work for the corporate office of the Jurassic Park experiences. You are based here in Manhattan. Best news, we work in the same building you already work. So nothing about your lifestyle will change. The only thing that will change is that you go to a different floor of the building and you're getting paid twice as much money, but now you work for Jurassic Park corporate. Would you take the job?
As an employee, am I required to travel to the park?
No.
Yes, I will take that job.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, my problem is the park.
Okay.
I'm not an investor, correct? I'm strictly taking a job. If I'm an investor, I'm out.
Why?
I'm out, dog.
Why?
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 Because that's my money. This is bound to end in a lawsuit one way or the other. Something's going to happen to end in a lawsuit. So, yeah, I'm out, dog.
Okay, so let's say you're not an investor. Let's say you're just a straight up employee. You're just here, you're just putting in your time. You are helping to make sure that nothing that happened previously happens again.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because there's a good chance I'm held responsible if something bad will happen. I'm okay with my company going out of business after I've made the money.
Okay.
I'm not going to work at a company where they could pin it on me because I'm the one who should have made sure it didn't happen again.
Okay, but that's actually thinking quite highly of yourself that everything's going to get pinned on you.
No, not me, but
17 people higher than you in this corporation right now. There's, old grandpa, money bags, Panama hat. There's
Well, I always feel like I'm the honest guy. I would be the honest guy on the news. Like when they find a guy who murdered 8 people in his house, and the neighbor's like, he was such a nice guy. He was always smiling.
He was
I would
never
be the
that
guy that was like, no, he was fucking creepy. He was always walking around with an axe. I didn't get it, but I didn't report it because I just assumed he was a creep.
How's your train?
I got the first one done, and now we're moving on. Oh, here comes the engine.
Oh, choo-choo, friend.
If there's one thing you could change about your life right now, what would it be?
That I was further in my career.
And
easily.
Do you think that you wasted your, further in which aspect of your career? The acting?
Acting, yeah.
Do you think you wasted your time in radio? Or
No.
Okay.
No, and here's why. I have, I'm pretty open about my mental health stuff.
Yeah.
I know for a fact if I had moved from high school to LA and pursued acting, I would not be alive right now.
I
would fully.
I always say that I don't know how you do this, how you're in this industry, knowing your mental health and just the things that sort of upset you and can set you off.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that that you've wanted to put yourself through this industry, because I hear everybody I talk to is just not miserable, but all it takes is one email and that is it.
It can throw you, and that's why
and that's where I am also, but for different reasons.
It's yeah, I think that I am a very slow maturer when it comes to certain things, and I think that I've been very naive for a very long time, and so I think if I had moved to LA, first of all, I would have had that nervous breakdown that I had, but I wouldn't have had health insurance. I wouldn't have had family there to support me and get me through it, so I probably wouldn't have made it through that. And then also just knowing I was in an awkward phase from second grade through the end of college. So I also wouldn't have been cast in anything because I just wasn't we'll just say I wasn't camera ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't mature enough. I just think that in this lifetime I am what's the word? I'm a late bloomer. I've always been a late bloomer. I'm always going to be a late bloomer.
I'm still awkward. I still can't talk to girls. It's terrible.
It's
fucking terrible.
It's a thing. I'll be your wing. I'm an awful wing person.
Don't be my wing person.
No, don't ask me. Don't ask me.
I need to grow up.
I don't know. I'm dating a vegan. What do I know?
Yeah, seriously, you got your own problems.
Yeah, let's talk about the hometown buffet. So, maybe 6 months ago, John and I both found ourselves in Los Angeles for different reasons, and so we decided to shoot an episode of Labeled while we were there.
That's not true. We were there for the same reason.
You were there for work.
We were both there for the awards.
No, you were there for work, and I came for the awards, didn't we?
Yeah, I wasn't there for work. I was there for the awards.
You were there for work.
No, I was there on a personal trip.
Oh.
We were both there for the awards.
Oh,
I went for
never mind.
Yeah.
So we were both in LA for these awards. We decided that we were going to shoot an episode of Labeled. We were staying at the super sad divorced dad hotel, which is where newly divorced dads go to stay when they don't have a place to live.
Okay, the extended stay, I thought, the way that they sell themselves is that you go there when you
have lost your wife.
When you are traveling for business and for a long period of time, they put you up. They have a kitchen, full fridge. Turns out turns out what the situation is
It's where dads go when they're newly divorced.
it's for broken homes.
It's for very broken homes.
It's
a
dads,
very sad
kids,
place.
It's very depressing.
Or people who are like on the run. And so
I didn't get that.
I definitely got that. So we were staying there, and
Maybe
across
on the run
the
from
street
their families.
is the, what's it called? The good old country buffet?
Okay, so she gets there the first night, and
I'm hungry,
I'm
but I
ready to
don't
go
wanna,
get food.
I don't want to leave. I'm tired. I've been flying. It's a long flight. I'm tired and gross. I don't want to like do anything. I don't want to go anywhere where I have to look good, and it's LA. Everywhere you have to look good. Too hard. So I was like, let's go to this buffet down the street from the parking lot.
Literally in the parking lot of our hotel.
What can go wrong? It's a buffet.
What I didn't know was that she was so terrified of the hotel. First of all, I blame her because they gave her a first floor room and she took it, which I would never do.
And, this was a different hotel. And the guy who gave me my room said my room number out loudly. And was like...
Oh, that was a different time.
That was a different time. I was very upset. Yes. So they put me on the first floor. My window didn't close properly, and so I needed to go someplace that had access to steak knives so that I could take one home with me and sleep with it.
And she did.
And I did. So there was a buffet in the parking lot called whatever buffet, and I was like, John, I don't want to go anywhere and look good. Like, can we just go to this buffet? And John was like, yes, because you're the smartest friend I have, and I trust you implicitly.
No idea that she's going to actually steal something from the restaurant.
So we go there. The food is just profoundly terrible, but whatever. I got a knife. And then we had to go to Target because John had to get glitter gems, and John proceeded to get increasingly sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker as
Nothing
we
was
are at
cooked.
Target.
Everything was pale
But you
white.
also ate the meat there, which is your fault, because who eats meat at a parking lot
I
buffet?
eat meat if there's meat. If there's meat, I don't care where it is. I eat McDonald's meat. I'll eat. I like meat.
If there's anything we've learned from the movie Bridesmaids, it's do not eat the gray-looking meat.
It was white looking and it was fine until it wasn't fine.
So we're at Target in the self-checkout, and John is getting sicker and sicker, but he won't go home to the hotel. He's like, no, we got to run these errands. I have to get these gems. And so he's like...
We were filming something, so she's
about
making
to
it seem
puke.
like I needed gems for a costume I was wearing.
He's about to throw up in the middle of Target, and like we had to power walk home because he was gonna...
It was literally going to come from all ends. I thought I was going to throw up from my ears. It was terrible.
If anyone has seen the first episode of season 1 of Succession, he was about to be Greg out of the eye holes of his costume. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these two pieces right here.
I can't believe you're still not done with that.
Shut the hell up. This is tough, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're just putting together a choo-choo train. I'm putting together an entire industrial complex.
How's that going? Oh, you're having a good time.
Right? So the Velociraptor has been tamed by Pratt. And
That's not Pratt.
I know, but it is right now for our
You
purposes.
show Sam Neill respect.
Okay, Sam Neill, a.k.a. Merlin, has trained the Velociraptor and is riding him. This is not to scale, if I remember the movie correctly, but that's fine.
Is this how you train your pigeons? Can we talk about that before we end the series?
Yes.
That you train pigeons
I'm
now?
working on it.
You're a pigeon trainer?
I'm not officially a pigeon trainer. I am working on training the pigeons in my local park.
It sounds like you're working on getting the bird flu.
It doesn't even come out of the train. It comes out of the app.
But something's wrong about this.
But oh no!
Oh boy, we're getting out of control
Go,
here.
go, go! Go, Sam Neill!
Sounds like a dinosaur. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my guest, Bethany Watson.
Thank you.
Follow her on Miss Bethany Watson on Instagram.
Yeah, Miss Bethany Watson on Instagram.
It's all down there in the description. I don't know how people do that. There are people that can like point and make stuff appear on YouTube. I'm not one of those. I'm too busy to learn that shit. But I did make my train move from my phone.
That's great. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, John Sosis, my best friend
Bestest friend.
for the ages.